Okay, so we're going to be looking at 3.7, the transformation of polynomial functions. When we look at a here, we have g of x equals 3x to the fourth minus 18. So our first thought has to be is what is our parent function? So we've gone over a bunch of parent functions this year. So this one is to the fourth degree. So that means that our parent function is going to be y equals x to the fourth. Now what we want to do is take a look at, okay, so how is this being moved, right? So we have a couple things that are happening. We have this 3 out in front, and we have this minus 18. So we know that when you're multiplying by a value that's greater than 1, that is going to stretch our graph vertically, right? So this is going to stretch graph vertically. Right, and that's by a factor of 3. And then this minus 18, because it's not being directly subtracted from the x before it's going to the fourth, right? That means it's a vertical shift. And in this case, because it is minus, right, that means we're going to be moving it down. So this is a vertical shift 18 units down. For b, right, this is a third power, which means our parent function is going to be y equals x to the third. So we have 3 different things that are moving it here. We have this 5 out in front, we have this 2 here, and then we have this 4 here. So first of all, okay, this 5, right, that 5 is being multiplied out in front. So that is going to be a vertical stretch again. Right, and this time it's by a factor of 5. Okay, then we have, right, the second thing is this minus 2. Now that's subtracting from the x before it's being cubed. So that means that's going to be a horizontal translation. So horizontal translation, and that is going to be 2 units to the right. Okay, and then last but not least, we have that plus 4, and that plus 4 is going to be a vertical translation. And that's going to be 4 units up this time because it's plus 4. And you can see, right, on the graphs how if we take our original, right, which is the blue function, right, and we shift it, it will match up with that. So what happens when they give us the graph but not the actual function? So when they do that, that's what we're going to look at in number 4. So we have to look at what actually happened, right? So if we look at this function right here for a, okay, this is an x to the third function, which means its parent function is just y equals x to the third, which means we're looking at a y equals, right, a times x minus h to the third plus k. Now, when we look at this, right, we're going down from left to right, so we know that that a value, right, has to be negative. In this case, you can see how it didn't actually change the shape of the graph as far as the steepness of it. It just flipped it upside down, which means that your a value in this case is just going to be a -1. Then when we look at our center point, right, for our vertex, right, if we were talking a parabola, got moved, right, it started off here at 0, 0, and moved over here to -3, -1. So that means that h is -3 and k is -1. So if we write this out, y equals a -1 times x minus a -3 cubed minus 1, which would be y equals -1 times x plus 3 cubed minus 1. Okay, and we know it was a cubic function because we were specifically told up here that it was cubic. Okay, and for b, we're told it's a quartic function, which means it's a fourth degree. So this started off as y equals x to the fourth. So again, this is going to be y equals a times x minus h to the fourth plus k. So we have to look at what changed. Well, we got flipped upside down. Okay, so that tells us that we're going to have a negative 1. Oops, negative 1. And in this case, it didn't widen it out any more than that. So it's just negative 1. And then our center, right, got moved from up there to down here. So that means that our h value, right, is now 1. And our k value is 5. So that gives us y equals a negative times x minus h to the fourth, and then plus 5. And that's all you have to do. Hopefully that helps. Good luck on your homework.